Hello everyone and welcome to TV Talks, the show where we take a look at both the good and the bad of what television has to offer. Merry Christmas! I hope you're having a good one. I'm having a good one so far. But it's time to talk about something that I've wanted to talk about ever since the Christmas season began. Something called a Nickmas. And as you can tell, this is something that was made by Nickelodeon. When? In 2002 to 2004. This is how long it spanned. This is when all the cartoons that were on at the time, like SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, Invader Zim, Hey Arnold, Fairly Odd Parents, Rocket Power, you know the type, they'd all get together and just make a bunch of little holiday skits. Not only would they just air the holiday specials, but they would also just make all these crazy videos. Some of them were actually really, really funny. Some of them were good. I can't really think of any of them that were bad. But they were really creative. Most of them were in stop motion, which, yes, this predates It's a SpongeBob Christmas by about a decade. And it's very similar quality. Granted, some of them, like, say, Tommy or Helga, they don't look as good in stop motion, but characters like Jorgen or SpongeBob or Squidward, they look great. You can tell they put a lot of work into the puppets and a lot of work into the animation. It looks really good, and it accurately represents the Rankin Bass style. Now let's go over these shorts, alright? I'll link them in the description as they are on YouTube very legally. There were a couple, we'll be right back, and now back to the show things, but I won't talk about those. One of them is the Nickmas Holiday Party. So basically after Goddard, the light bulb nosed dog or whatever, serves as Rudolph, they all have an after party for Christmas. And this is where the big stop motion thing comes in. Like, you know, all the stuff that they wanted to do, all the stuff they put in, and it all looks great. Except Patrick is the abominable starfish of the north, so he doesn't look quite the same. But we get to see a whole bunch of interactions with a bunch of Nicktoons. We get to see SpongeBob not wanting to be an elf, he wants to be a fry cook, and then Jorgen and Jimmy Neutron start telling everyone, but then Zim says, "Who is SpongeBob? Tell me!" And then the Crimson Chin's hitting on Eliza's older sister, I don't remember her name. Tommy and the abominable starfish of the north are playing with each other. There's embarrassing photos going on. Plankton starts hitting on Helga, and it's really funny. And then they do some really funny stuff that they did a lot during Nickmas. They made fun of PC culture. So, this was around the time when you were no longer allowed to say Merry Christmas. You had to say Happy Holidays. And I'm not going to talk about that. That's a political issue in and of itself. But they do something really clever. They just go, "Happy!" And then the voice just cuts out, "It's their holiday choice here. To you!" And I think it's really clever, and that's something I would do, given that stuff. Then there's Plankton's Holiday Hits, where he sings these awful renditions of Christmas songs that have turned violent and hostile, and it's all about him dominating everything. And you can get this CD if you send the Krabby Patty Secret Formula down to Bikini Bottom. I'm good. I mean, I want the CD, but I don't know if Mr. Krabs would be really happy with me. But I think it's really funny. This is not stop motion, though, but I do think it's really, really funny. The writing is perfect on it, and Doug Lawrence's inflections as Plankton are always hilarious, and this is no exception here. Then we have the You-Know-Who Stole You-Know-What, which is not stop motion, but it was originally going to be until they found it too hard, so then they just animated it. It's a parody of The Grinch, where Angelica, known as Grinchelica, is going to go down to Nicktoons Land and then steal all the chocolate for Nickmas. So he steals all these chocolates from people from Chalk Zone, Invader Zim, Rocket Power, Jimmy Neutron, all these things. Plankton is Cindy Lou Who, and it's really great. There's an ending, too, that always gets me to laugh out loud. I don't dare ruin it here, but it is hilarious. Then we also have the Nutcracker Suite, which is Cosmo and Wanda just crunching. And that one's okay. It's probably my least favorite of them. We had the 12 Days of Nickmas, where all the Nicktoons from each of the shows, I think, except for, I think Chalk Zone isn't in there. But everyone else just starts going on about, on the 12th day of the Nickmas, we got all these crazy things that line up with their show. And then, of course, a starfish on a pine tree, which is quite pointy, as Patrick points out. Speaking of Patrick, we have the most famous of the Nicktoons shorts, Patrick the Snowman, both versions. Now, there are two versions of this, but let me explain. It's obviously a parody of Frosty the Snowman. So Nigel Thornberry is talking about how Jimmy and his friends, in CG, of course, created a snowman, or snow starfish, and then created life with it, and then it became Patrick. Now, in the short version, they just chase him off in an angry mob, but in the long version, he just pesters everyone, and then they send him into the future, and then he pesters them when they're old people. Really funny, although really surreal, but it's great. One of the things about these Nicktoon things is that we get to see a bunch of characters interact, like what Animaniacs or Batman the Animated Series is famous for, with having all these varied characters occasionally interact, but when they do occasionally interact, it's just great, because they're all in character, and you just get to see this great feeling of camaraderie. See, back in the day, Nickelodeon did a lot of stuff like this, like the Not Just Cartoons Were Nicktoons song, or just various promotional bits. It wasn't just the SpongeBob network back then, it was just this hub for all these cartoon characters for kids to hang around. Although Invader Zim, Hey Arnold, and As Told by Ginger is skewed a little older, but that's beside the point. That's not even mentioning Action League now, which does not appear in this, actually. Which is weird, because they are already stop motion, but that's beside the point. They put a lot of work into this, and they used this for a few years. I think they stopped around 2005, which is a real shame. I mean, Ha Ha Holidays was fine and all, but I really did like the Nickmas stuff. It was very well done, very well put together, and you could tell they really, really had a lot of fun doing this. All the shorts are available online. Like I said, there's a link in the description if you want to go watch them, and I highly recommend it. If you love Nickelodeon, you'll certainly love these, and I give them the Archibald seal of approval. You know, one thing I would like for Christmas is for someone to make like a spreadsheet of all the stuff I've done. Basically like, a graph saying this show got this show got that. You know, that way I can keep track. Anyways, I don't know, does anyone actually want to do that for me? If so, let me know. Anyways, this has been Wishlist Week, and I know nobody asked for this, but this is just something I wanted to give to you to help raise awareness for it. And we also have one more shout out today, and I hope that'll be up about now, so I hope to see you guys again next year.
Good night, everybody.